When, when I was 16, I had a dream of becoming an archaeologist. I had a profound interest in archaeology. But when it came to choosing a career option, like any other 90s born kid, I was just given two options: either to become a doctor or become an engineer. And voila, here I am, a computer engineer. Regardless of my choice with my career, I still have that archaeologist alive in me. I keep reading books, articles, and watch videos on YouTube about the great inventions and discoveries our ancestors made in the past eras. So one day, while going through YouTube, I found a video by Mr. Praveen Mohan from Phenomenal Travel Videos. The video was about the 12th century Hoysaleshwara temple in Karnataka. What's astonishing about this temple is its pristine and precise architecture. Have a look how beautiful the temple is. Just look at the fine polish on the pillars. Do you think it's done by hands? It's impossible that humans at that time could have done this kind of polishing by just using hammers, spears, and polishing stones. In the same video, Mr. Mohan questions: did the ancient builders at that time have machines? What kind of technology they might have used to create such marvelous temples and monuments? In the same video, Mr. Mohan also points an astonishing fact. Just have a look at the next slide. This is a lathe machine. A lathe machine is used in modern day technology. We invented this not even a century ago. Look at these tools. This is how we get the perfect, fine, polished finish on the monuments that we create, the devices that we create. We use tools like these. Now, have a look at this picture. These are not just dancing figures. We have seen these figures in most of the Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist temples in some or the other way. These figures symbolize something. You see, those tools are carved right in the hands of those figures. They were the builders, they were the architects, carved right on the temple itself. Would you believe it? This forces us to think that what kind of technology they might have had. This forces us to think, did they have the same technology that we have today? This forces us to think that what was the reason behind carving this on the temple walls? Did they want to convey a complex technology to the future generations? All I can say is we need to introspect a lot. But that's not my point. My point is that whenever mankind needed the most, mankind made amazing inventions, technological inventions, to bypass its own biological limitations. That is probably the definition of technology. Kevin Kelly is the founder of the Whole Earth Catalog review, which is a sequel of the Whole Earth Catalog. Have you heard of this famous dialogue from one of the greatest technologists in our era? Stay hungry, stay foolish. It's by Steve Jobs, and it was written in the Whole Earth Catalog. The same thing was then forwarded to the Whole Earth Review. It was the only magazine available in the 70s and 80s that did not have internet at that time. That was the only source of technological knowledge. So Kevin Kelly was one of the part of the technological review, and he went on to found a magazine called Wired magazine. If you are reading technology these days, you'll know what Wired magazine is. A great example of bypassing the biological limitations is a person in our era who passed away recently. I have immense respect for him. He's Mr. Stephen William Hawking. Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with motor neuron disease at the age of 21. He was told that he will be living just 2 years after that. This man sat on a wheelchair for 5 decades. Sitting on a wheelchair, he redefined the way the world perceives space and time today. You won't believe, this man even fulfilled his dream of floating in zero gravity, just like an astronaut. Stephen Hawking was such an amazing inspiration, an example of bypassing the biological limitations. And all this was possible only because of continuous technological evolution with a utopian perception towards technology. Moving ahead, there's one technology that is the front runner in these days, and you can call it extended reality. The world today calls it extended reality. It's basically the technology which is enabling people to bypass the biological limitations. Extended reality is an umbrella term for everything that is virtual reality, augmented reality, or mixed reality. For those who are not so tech savvy here, I'll just tell you what virtual reality is. Virtual reality is basically diving into a completely different environment. All in all, you see a different environment and you're diving into a different reality. Augmented reality is something that you see these days. You're not very familiar with this. Pokemon Go and Snapchat filters. Girls love it. So, augmented reality is inspiring mixed reality, and mixed reality is nothing but wearable augmented reality. And the example devices are Microsoft's Hololens and the Magic Leap. You will see the Hololens in a short while live on myself. Now let's have a look at what we have done to realize our idea of bypassing biological limitations or breaking free from the reality. The Indian Space Research Organization has its own experience center known as the Vikram Sarabhai Space Exhibition in Ahmedabad. It's much like NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center in Orlando. Just think as a kid, when you want to go on a field trip to such locations, to such exhibitions, you would expect a lot of sci-fi things to happen to yourself. Would you not? And so do the children in Gujarat who are from vernacular and municipality schools. What we did for them, along with Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, is set up an experience for the kids. It's a journey that takes the kid right from how a space rocket is launched to gliding through the stars in our own solar system to visualizing the Moon Impact Probe mission on the moon surface itself, led by our own ex-president, Shri APJ Abdul Kalam, and also landing on the surface of Mars and seeing how the surface is. We are so satisfied with this kind of experience, with this kind of project, that the reason is we see about 200 to 250 to 300 students experiencing this magical journey every day. That is a number that nobody in India touches. And it's a free of cost service. It's a research project that we did with ISRO. We did not stop here. We went into more serious applications. We made up research projects, and after months of research, what we came up with is an idea where you can turn any satellite image into a 3D surface, where you can land in that 3D surface and visualize, collaborate, and analyze that surface. The scientists today in Space Application Center at ISRO, they collaborate, they wear the VR headset, go to the 3D surface and analyze the surface of Mars and Moon from the data that they have captured, the satellite images that they have captured from the Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan missions. This would not have been possible with any other technology. We have done a lot of research, and then we have also come up with Google Earth sort of application. These are the real screenshots from the application. You can literally go on top of the Everest. This is real data generated from the satellite images, and you can teleport. You can see the controller which you can hold in your hand while you are in VR, and have a look at the altitude at which you are in. This is what the experience is. We have done other projects. Imagine this with other colleges in which when you wear VR, you are in front of a large audience and you start speaking to get rid of glossophobia or public speaking fear. And you get a score at the end which tells you how you performed. Or this project where we take the brain waves. If you read the word muse there on the headband, we take the brain waves or EEG waves to see how relaxed you are, how concentrated you are, to change the virtual environment accordingly. But there is a problem. Like many other people in the industry, I was skeptical about the distorted vision of XR in the future. Like many other early learners of the technology, I too was scared about the dystopian effects this technology could have on humanity. But my perception changed when I met a futurist and a great artist known as Monica Belskite. This is a woman who designs urban plans for governments and other organizations from or inspired from sci-fi cinematic universe. She has worked on movies like The Minority Report. This is one of her works. The Minority Report in 2002 was the movie where all our holographic dreams began, which led to the inspiration of creating an experience like Iron Man, like Jarvis. Right from Iron Man in 2008 to 2018, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Avengers. And we have a dream of having a holographic user interface for all the technology that we use. Getting rid of phones, getting rid of the screens. What we come up to here is a movie now, which released this year, is Ready Player One. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. I was a fan when I read the 2011 bestseller by the same name, authored by Ernest Cline. The movie is set in 2045. The world in 2045 is facing numerous catastrophes, droughts. We have had 3 more world wars. People are starving. But at the same time, people are living in a virtual universe inside VR to get away or escape from the harsh reality. This is something like Facebook, okay, where everything is 3D, just that you can't eat food or go to toilet. That's it. The future shown here in this movie is very, very harsh. It's dystopian. And when I argued with Monica about this movie, I realized that we need to visualize the future of technology in a utopian way rather than a dystopian way. Monica gave a solution that to get away or create a solution for all these problems is to redefine virtual reality as shared reality. Have a more collaborative approach to technology, a more rhythmic approach to technology for all the technologies. And also, we need to understand that every technology needs to become more compelling rather than a gimmick to turn out into a revolution. We realized this idea with one of the best projects that we have done with one of the best design schools in India called the Industrial Design Center at IIT Bombay. We used the Microsoft's Hololens. Let me show you how the Hololens works. Trust me, I feel like I'm Tony Stark. Okay, so what I see is what you see here. It's pretty dark, but can you see an astronaut hovering over you? Or maybe I'll just play something for you guys. Pull out dogs. Oh my god, this burger is too big. This is. Anybody likes I'm a Jain? Sorry. This is too big. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place this burger on the uh, on the stage itself and see if I can, sorry, and see if what are the ingredients like. Look, there is an onion, there is a capsicum, cheese, and it looks like a hamburger patty. But oh wow, my gosh, that's a. Did you see that? Can we switch? So that's pretty much how it works. I'll just get over back to the presentation. Well, guys, the idea is to collaborate with these devices. Two people can wear that device. They are present at two different geographical locations and collaborate over one design. Imagine two chefs, one from Mumbai and one from the US, combining a recipe that's more like vada pav and burger. And they can work together in 3D. Imagine this for architects, for automobile engineers. This is what is possible. And you can do operations like these to move, to rotate, to scale, get a cross-sectional view. Together, collaborative. Let me show you an actual footage of that project that we have done with IIT. You can see the avatar. The person, the video was shot in Mumbai, then the person was in Bangalore. And it could be, the person could be anywhere in the world because it connects over the internet. This is the actual footage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not waiting for the future. We are in the future. We are breaking free from the reality. Thank you so much.